Welcome to BWSC. The purpose of our induction is to explain BWSC requirements to keep you safe on our sites. Our 8 life-saving standards help us achieve this, which we'll explain today. Some instructions only apply at certain sites. We'll confirm everything you need to know about your site after explaining the company-wide rules. Let's begin with our basic instructions, which apply to all people at all sites. On arrival, make sure you reverse park and register that you are on site. Random vehicle checks can take place as you enter or leave the site. If selected, please be courteous. Standard PPE is required in all areas except in designated safe walking routes. Our standard PPE includes a hard hat, safety glasses, high-vis workwear or vest, gloves, and safety footwear. Additional PPE may be needed in other areas and identified in your risk assessment or by local signs. All site-specific PPE and information on sleeve length will be explained later in the local section. Short trousers and rigger boots are not permitted. If your workwear only has reflective strips, you are required to wear a yellow or orange vest while walking around site. Anyone authorised to work in switch rooms must wear suitably rated arc protection clothing. Mobile phones may only be used by authorised people or in designated areas. They must never be used while driving. Smoking and the use of e-cigarettes is strictly prohibited outside of designated areas. If you see or are involved in an incident, please report it immediately to the shift team leader in the control room, who will manage the event. Please do not dial 999 unless instructed to do so by the shift team leader. In the event of an evacuation, leave your work area immediately and proceed by the nearest safe route to the site muster point. You must remain there until after the roll call, and when instructed by the BWSC incident controller, it is safe to return to work. If the designated site muster point is unavailable, you will be directed to an alternative safe area. Good housekeeping is essential to maintaining overall site safety standards. All individuals are expected to keep their working areas clear and tidy at all times, removing any used consumables and debris at regular intervals. A yellow/red card system is in place for safety rule infringements, although we strive not to use it. Instead, we expect everyone on our sites to work together in meeting our high standards for safety. BWSC plants are designed to remain safe under normal operating conditions, using specialist equipment and systems to ensure energy is contained. However, there are other hazards which have the potential to cause harm to people or the environment, including high pressure and high temperature steam, high pressure and high temperature water, electricity, stored energy, chemicals and substances, magnetism. Before starting any work on site, the shift team leader must be made aware. All work needs a risk assessment along with a method statement. These are also known as RAMs. Please make sure you have read these documents before starting the job. Also make sure you understand what they cover and that you are trained to carry out your work. As well as the RAMs, you may be issued a safety document by our permit office before starting work. Any hazards related to the process will have been removed to help keep you and your workmates safe. Please make sure you follow all instructions presented to you and never carry out isolations yourself without first getting the permission from the permit office. Finally, you need to complete a point of work risk assessment, or POWRA, before getting started. This is your final spot check of the work area to ensure you start safe, stay safe. Remember, our sites run 24/7, so things that were okay one day may be different the next. If anything changes while you are working, stop what you are doing immediately and contact your shift team leader. Line of fire is any movement or release of energy which could cause harm. The most common line of fire on our sites is caused by vehicle movements. Consequently, we have strict site traffic management controls that must be adhered to. All site and delivery vehicles must comply with our speed limits. Each site operates a one-way system. When reversing, vehicles must notify others using an audible means and, if available, a visual means. Pedestrians have the right of way, and seatbelts must be worn when operating or travelling in a vehicle. For vehicle movements where suitable pedestrian protection is not in place, a trained banksperson is required. Pedestrians must keep to the designated walkways and paths, only crossing roadways using the zebra crossings. Avoid taking shortcuts. Whenever possible, we provide working platforms and scaffolding for work at height tasks. When we can't, the RAMs will detail any required control measures. People using ladder and fall protection equipment, such as harnesses and fall restraints, must be trained to do so. Fall arrests are not permitted unless agreed with a BWSC member of staff and detailed in the RAMs. When working at height, you must think about the possibility of dropped objects. Please make sure that areas below your work are barriered and loose items are safely stored or secured. No chemical or substance may be brought onto site without approval of your site contact, who will ask for a hazardous substances risk assessment in advance of its use. All products brought on site must be stored in accordance with their safety data sheets, bundled where applicable and in minimal quantities. Part of effective substance control involves making sure it does not impact the environment. Never dispose of any materials down the site drains. Liaise with your site contact if you need to dispose of chemicals or waste oils and greases. If you spill or see any spillage of chemicals or oils or grease, contact the control room immediately, and if it's safe, use materials from a spillings kit to contain it. Waste must be segregated within the designated areas on site to prevent it from being mixed, potentially contaminating other waste types. Any equipment used for lifting operations, such as hoists and slings, need to have undergone a 6-month inspection. It must also have a label or colour-coded tag so users know it has been inspected and we can identify which company owns it. Any unmarked lifting equipment must be removed from service and no longer used. Contractors must provide their own portable lifting equipment. BWSC sites are unable to loan it out. Several basic requirements help support our fire safety culture and reduce the risk fire poses to our sites. Maintain excellent housekeeping and remove all combustible materials from the working area at regular intervals. Do not store combustible materials within buildings and always store them a safe distance away. No hot work is allowed on site without a safety document. Any oil leaks must be reported, immediately cleaned, and a safety defect raised to ensure immediate rectification. Fire extinguishers and hose reels are located around the site for use in the event of an incident. Under no circumstances should you attempt to put out a fire unless to aid your escape or if you are trained and competent to do so. Fire extinguishers must not be used for hot work fire watch duties. We have separate extinguishers available for this purpose. Use of fire hydrants for general supply of water is not permitted. Fire hoses must not be used for purposes such as cleaning. On our sites, we have marked explosive atmosphere zones. All explosive atmosphere zones must be kept clear of ignition sources at all times. Only enter these areas if given authorization. All confirmed space work on site requires a safety document and specific training for entrance and hole watchers. BWSC operates a zero-tolerance approach regarding possession or being under the influence of alcohol and/or illegal substances. Sites operate a random and just cause testing policy, which may require your participation at any time. Where you are taking prescription drugs due to a medical condition, please make your supervisor and site contact aware. We understand that outside circumstances can sometimes affect how you feel about your day. If something has changed in your physical or mental fitness which could limit your ability to work, please speak to your supervisor or one of our mental health first aiders. BWSC has 4 values to help everyone on our sites remain safe. They are: protect yourself, protect each other, be challenging, be honest, take ownership. If at any time while working you feel that you or another person is unsafe or it may harm the environment, stop work immediately. Make the area safe and report your concerns to your supervisor or a member of our team. On every site, working together as a team, let's make sure everyone stays alert today, alive tomorrow. This is the site layout. This is where you entered site. It is the main point of entry and exit, and also where you register as you arrive or leave the site. If you are travelling as a group of people, it is important that each individual completes their own registration on entering or leaving site. The car parks for all site personnel and visitors are located here. No parking is allowed elsewhere unless agreed by your site contact. The site-designated smoking area is here. Smoking is only permitted in this area. Report to your site contact on arrival by following this walking route to their work area. Standard PPE is required on this route. Standard PPE is not required on this route. Additional PPE is required on this site. The control room is located here. Please use the contact number to report any incidents. This is the site evacuation alarm. On hearing this alarm, please register that you have left site and leave immediately. Fire alarms are tested weekly. In the event of an incident, the main muster point is located here. Please observe all site speed limits. When driving on site, please stay within the limit at all times. The site uses a one-way system for vehicles, shown here. Follow the one-way system when driving. Fuel drivers will have specific instructions to follow for unloading, which will be passed on outside of this video. Do not enter this area unless authorised, and the mobile plant drivers made aware of your presence. The areas shown have potentially strong magnetic fields, which may affect the operation of pacemakers or similar devices. Individuals who have these devices fitted should make their supervisor and site contact aware. The marked areas show all the site's explosive atmosphere zones. Thank you for your time and attention when watching this safety video.